All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. Let's try to smooth those rough roads out. So, I think what's happening with my back is that it just keeps tightening up, trying to adjust the lower lumbar. And by the time it does, my legs pick up. So this is what the fusion surgery does: is it picks that bone up off that nerve, so your legs can fire up again and be stronger. So my back's adjusting. So that's why I needed to stay in massage, because it would have kept the adjustment in sync and it wouldn't have overly adjusted. Overly adjusting sometimes screws it up also. Right. So, so I know the operation would work as far as that's concerned. Well, my legs didn't get real well. I've always had strong legs. It's just this other issue. It's interesting. I mean, it is a teaser. So, like, the reality is, like I said, if I was trying to get this done when I was in Amarillo and a couple other places, so I could make sense of what was happening. No, it didn't adjust right. It was screwed up. Right. It had my neck, my right side up too high, and my neck pulled down. That's not healthy. Right. I don't know if there's going to be residual off of that or not. But what it does, it just keeps going, tightening. It doesn't stop. And what it does is it pinches a nerve in my back, and it's like, ah, and then I got to release it. I release it all, and it starts all over again. Mm. But it's like a teaser, your legs fire up, and you're like, hey. So if I'd have had this happen 4 years ago, I'd have said, yeah, let's get it done. Right. No, last night after I got massage, what it does is, and again, there's still a possibility that it can adjust, but that's one in a million, right? So he massaged me yesterday, which caused the right side to loosen up enough, and the left side, and it all just kind of fits together, and it's okay. It's not great, right? But when I slept, I was able to sleep on my back, and now it didn't completely loosen. It was halfway tight, but at least I slept on my back and it felt good. And the other thing is, the massage therapist and I figured out yesterday, and I had this thought like probably 4 years in Amarillo, that my bed was too soft. So I went, and I was luckily I could sleep on first I tried my massage table that I couldn't get somebody in to massage me on in Oklahoma because they were cursing me so hard, and psyoping me. So that was a little bit too hard. So I remember I had my sofa. So I went over to my sofa and I said, yeah, just about right. And then I remembered, hey, I bought a firm mattress. I don't know why this is not working. So I went to my bed and took off the foam topper and realized that it was, almost the same as the sofa, but a little more comfortable. Well, if they hadn't interfered, and they knew, if they hadn't interfered in my massage in my gym, I wouldn't be in this condition right now. I'd probably still have adjustment in my back, to make sure this all worked. Right. Well, it just gets all out of sync, and then I have, a ligament or a muscle bumping on my shoulder like it's out of time. But it can't adjust right. So the next step is the corticosteroid shots, and then what we're going to do there is we're going to try to see if we can get it to adjust to something more comfortable. So I can just go through all the process and get to the other side of that thing, whatever it may be. Well, again, they've done this to other people. It's not like they're ignorant. Got some what looks like hacking going on online. So again, the response to this morning, looking for some things that tried to focus me on Trump, Musk, like it usually does. You're the reason this is happening to you. I'm not sure what negotiation Trump's in, but as I said, I hope he's in a negotiation because this ain't going to work. Because the economy is just going to tank, right? Which you can't get to the other side for like 10 years. So again, all the great plans are great plans, but the mice and men, Trying to figure out what's going on here on my order. That's been a crazy day. They balked me from cooking spray on an earlier order, so I took advantage of an order process and I ordered 4 cooking sprays. I tried bumping it up to 6, but it wouldn't work. Part of what's going on is I reduced my caffeine intake, and I just don't have as much power to power through the pain and everything without a little bit of caffeine. So I just opened up one of the iced coffee things I had here, so I have a little more caffeine today to power through the process. Well, I'm hoping that there's nothing wrong with the doctor's pretty convinced that there's nothing wrong with my thoracic spine at that level. I mean, there could be, but I know there was something in there that was. Right. But he has an MRI, so. Well, it seems like when everything settles down in my back, then that pinched nerve goes away. Thank you, Larry. But that's like little windows. So I'm able to just drench it with stuff and then just see what it does. And right. Well, theoretically, if it is that, I think we're going to go to ablation. We'll go that far, or the ablation test. I don't think it'll work because I think once it releases, it crushes that sciatic nerve so much that, but we'll see. Because actually, I take that back because if they do that, it could halfway adjust. See, that's the problem, is that it just overly adjusted when I was in Texas, and I didn't know the full process. And I was trying to get to the full process, but again, deep state decided it's not like if you were innocent of a crime that it wouldn't affect you. They just keep going and going and going until it affects you. Right. Because the process itself becomes torture and becomes the trigger, not some alleged crime. I mean, some people would say that's game in the system, and maybe it is. So when I sleep on my side, what happens, I eventually slept on my side like a dummy. And what that does is that pushes that right side. It undoes the massage. It tightens up the right side. And then it goes off. Theoretically, it was muscle imbalance. And it's a very common thing, but nobody can seem to diagnose anything around me because they keep cursing them. I did find a hydration drink that has potassium, a healthy amount of potassium. I've been looking for that. I found it, and now I'm back on that BP medicine. and I've been using a ton of that, like Greek yogurts and stuff like that. But what I'm thinking is, it really didn't. It did cramp up today, but not like before. I could control it a lot easier. But once it continues to cramp up, trying to adjust that lower lumbar, that's it. That's that. Right. Well, it says every symptom that I'm noticing is part of that process, cramping and uncramping. Right. That it doesn't have to be anything other than that. Nobody was really interested in helping me, and they may have got paid not to help me, and that's the way the deep state works. But again, there's the Hippocratic oath that becomes the hypocritic oath. Hashem, God put that out there for all of you. But once it pinches that, it's like a daily occurrence. It goes away, then it comes back. Once it pinches that nerve, then you're shit for a while. All right. Actually. Well, once it pinches that nerve, then it starts screwing with the signal to the lower lumbar. So it's just insane what the reaction from it. Right? Well, it would have been nice 4 years ago to have this insight. I mean, I had like this intuition, but I couldn't get to the finished product. Look, I could have probably maybe even had it adjusted in right. I mean, people were showing up and saying this and saying that, so it just didn't get to where it needed to get to. So again, when I use the spray to reduce the cramping, the magnesium spray, then everything's out of sync because the right won't release, and then the left releases too much. Oh, well, my mic's dangling there. Yeah, interesting day. Well, this should have been part of the process. This should have happened for me 4 years ago, and it should have happened, based upon the. I didn't even get the steroid shots yet. I went to massage, and it just wouldn't do anything for me. It's just very painful. I think possibly the epidural was botched. I mean, he did puncture the sac. I don't know the effects of something like that. The other thing is I was much lighter, and if they use a weight-based calculation for the steroid, they may have been a lot less. So one of the delivery services had a priority upgrade, and when I was able to get to the priority upgrade, I paid that. Oh, this isn't that good, but I guess it'll work. I thought the brush had stiffer bristles. I wonder if the other one had stiffer bristles. All right. I got a brush from Walmart, a dish brush. And the time slot it gave me When it actually got to the order, the time slot it gave me for the order was actually the time slot for the not priority delivery. Wait a minute, where's he on? Oh, he didn't get the other brush. This one is not a hard bristle brush. I have to get on the app. Look one more time, see if it's here anywhere. And it's kind of a bogus. Deal there. I don't see it. Well, if I could have got to this point 4 years ago, I definitely would have been in a good way compared to where I am now. Right. Again, there's nothing to say that I wasn't drugged all those 4 years. Right. And intermittently, I'm sure, but. So the snow's starting to melt now. Pretty good. Actually, it's been melting. It went above 32 degrees, so back in the good weather soon. Right, so once it pinches that nerve, it kind of, I think it weakens the signal or something. I don't know. Like if it doesn't get to that point of pinching the nerve, then I'm then I'm okay. That's where I was last night. And that's where I was when I'm sleeping. Yeah, I was getting ready to order an airbed because that's what I was using in Oklahoma, but I actually put on the airbed over top of it a couple of foam toppers, memory foam toppers. So it was a good kind of stiff bed, but it had some give to it. I think they sabotaged it, quite frankly. Because on most airbeds, you can find where the leak is very easily. So here's a big one. Amazon doesn't offer any type of upgrade warranty with its airbeds because, again, it's a pretty expensive venture. they will fail. But Walmart does. And again, I gave Walmart credit today for being such a thing. Well, the fear is that there's some sort of pinched nerve, from the spine in the upper area. But again, it's not playing out completely like that yet. Again, the deep state does what it does, and it shouldn't exist. And it's both Republican and Democratic Party. I mean, it's obvious. Right, and the magnesium oil itself could weaken the signal down to the lower back. It's, weaken that lower back signal so that the lumbar can't maintain what it's doing. Again, the key is to get to this corticosteroid and then have my back massaged. Hopefully it repairs and then. Nah, they should have been forced to stay away from me. Well, before, I'm not going to blindside the surgeon either. Before we do any type of surgery, we need to know if there's something in the upper back that's playing out. Because he can do all that work and then find that there's something also affecting this sciatic nerve, you know, at a lower area, right? Or at a higher area. No, they shouldn't have been allowed around me at all. Okay, so all right. Oh, I see. All right. What the hell's it doing? Actually, I didn't look outside to see if I left it outside. Okay, and then poor quality. Not my cooking spray. Deep state's been cursing my cooking spray somehow. Again, you don't always know what the curse is. These are nice sized cooking spray cans for the price. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, I ordered 4 cans of cooking spray. I tried to increase it to 6 cans, but it wouldn't let me. It kept telling me I could update the order, but then it wouldn't let me. No, I'm listening to a spirit telling me what to eat right now, or what to prepare to eat. Mm. Yeah, my left arm, and it's now. Ugh. I'm hoping there's no serious damage in the upper back to cause that. It just feels like it keeps trying to correct and overly cramps it. Before it did that, there was a point where it actually was, just tight and the legs picked up and everything. But then it just kept going at a certain point. It might be that the right side gets too tight and then freaks the left side out. Right. Again, overly strong right side. Now, today I was to a certain point. My back was a little tight, but it was doable, and my legs were like right on. Very powerful, working very well. Again, obviously I should have figured something out 4 years ago, but again, the deep state is a criminal entity, and it keeps effectuating crimes against people. Well, it's nothing to do with what I'm doing. That's their scam. They make merchandise of their victims. So they have a system. You pick somebody to kill, and you kill them for life, and everybody makes money killing them. But again, these are the people that are going to hell. The deep state is what crucified Rabbi Jesus. And again, I'm not some rich multimillionaire sitting in the Republican Party just, casting stones at my political enemy all day. And what are we eating? We eat yogurt, Greek yogurt, basmati rice. Now you don't have to put turmeric or anything in it. Just Greek yogurt and warm basmati rice. Yeah, you don't. If you miss that, you don't have to put anything in it. You just warm up the basmati rice and put some Greek yogurt in it. It tastes great. Spirit said, get in the habit of using very hot water to rinse out your bowls and things. Especially as we head into the warmer months, they're not sure, what the future of the microbes and bacteria is going to be, but it's looking like we need to pay better attention to sterilization and cleanliness and how hot the water is that's washing our spoons and things. Social Security itself is not a Ponzi scheme, but what they're doing with it is a Ponzi scheme. So again, it takes some clarification there. Well, the government should be required to invest it, but in safe investments for the basic amount. Something, Dan, that the Small Business Administration might be able to do a loan program. Don't interfere with my internet. So the Small Business Administration might be able to do a small business loan program, and then the interest is paid in the program, but again, it has to be a valid loan process, not a crony loan process. Stuff is delicious. Yeah, I mean, while my back's tightening up, all of a sudden my legs come on, and they're bad. So again, that ties it to that process. So my back's too cramped at that point. Which would indicate ablation. But again, that was probably something from 4 years ago. Oh, we'll see. It was nice that it went up above 32 degrees and melted the majority of the snow. I'm looking for an aesthetically pleasing bowl for my infrared hot, kind of like a hot plate. There's a candle maker kit that I got at him. Because when you burn resin, you actually don't want it to be too hot. You want it to burn at the lowest temperature possible. And then you usually get your fragrance. Some of the incense, the resin, if you burn it too hot, it smells like plastic. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with this incense I was getting. Is it phony? What's going on? And they said certain forms of myrrh and some of the other ones, you have to have a lower temperature. So what I do is I use like kind of the tea light metal casing. Now the ones I bought are high quality. I don't need that level. I can use the cheaper ones, but there's real cheap aluminum ones. You just put your resin in there and then put it on the hot plate. But I want it to be down in kind of like what I'm finding is terracotta. And I'm like, what terracotta doesn't match what I have too well. But I'm like, what's up with the Lord and this terracotta? So I researched it, I was like ancient Israel. I researched it, and again, that was they made things out of clay, and that's pretty much terracotta, right? Well, I'm kind of like at wit's end right now with the cramping today. I didn't expect it this close to a massage, but I learned something. Do not sleep on your right side, whatever you do. It's going to tighten this up, because what's happening is, just in case you don't know, I'm kind of like on my side, and I got my arm kind of going forward, and I'm kind of laying on my lat. And what it's doing is it's pushing that underarm up and allowing that shortening of muscle, and probably causing it. See, my mind's back. They should not have been allowed to be around me one little bit. Breathe there. I think made pretty petty doing it. I don't know what the answer is for tonight when I sleep. I had such a good sleep last night. I was so happy. Slept on my back, and it was just so comfortable. Well, I'm not sure what's going to reduce that. I paid all that money for that massage, and now I'm back to square one. Now, sometimes in the evening it does reverse, and it gets well. Not sure of the mechanism. Maybe I make it hotter in here. I don't know what. Let me go check the humidity. Right. So what I did is I ran the dehumidifier for a couple days, and it's a monster. It's a Polonus or whatever it is, but it works great. I'm down at 36%, and it stayed there, which means any mold in my wall is now destroyed. That's how I used to do it. I just didn't do it recently. because I had that sinus infection. I was wondering if it was because it was too dry, and I don't think that's what it was. I think I got cramped up, and my sinus wouldn't drain, like down the ear canal and all that, right, which it's doing right now. Again, if you all paid me my money, I'm sure Hashem would be happy because I can get more massages and maybe get forward to this quicker. It's not making sense. I'm trying to see if this. Oh, shoot. What you can do. Nah, I just found something. I just told Walmart I didn't have a brush. Now I got to call Walmart. Stay peaceful, praise God, and all that you do. Well, they refunded it, and I actually have it. They got somebody probably said, "Hey, we put it in there."